Do you indeed think so? Inquired the Marquise. I am, at least, fearful of it. Napoleon in the island of Elba is too near France, and his proximity keeps up the hopes of his partisans. Marseilles is filled with half-pay officers, who are daily, under one frivolous pretext or other, getting up quarrels with the royalists. From hence arise continual and fatal duels among the higher classes of persons, and assassinations in the lower. You have heard, perhaps, said the Comte de Salvieux, of one Monsieur de Saint-Méran, one of Monsieur de Saint-Méran's oldest friends, and chamberlain to the Comte d'Artois, that the Holy Alliance proposed removing him from thence. Yes, they were talking about it when we left Paris, said Monsieur de Saint-Méran. And where is it decided to transfer him? To Saint Helena. For heaven's sake. Where is that? Asked the Marquise. An island situated on the other side of the equator, at least 2,000 leagues from here, replied the Count. So much the better. As Villefort observes, it is a great act of folly to have left such a man between Corsica, where he was born, and Naples, of which his brother-in-law is king, and face to face with Italy, the sovereignty of which he coveted for his son. Unfortunately, said Villefort, there are the treaties of 1814, and we cannot molest Napoleon without breaking those compacts. Oh, well, we shall find some way out of it, responded Monsieur de Salvieux. There wasn't any trouble over the treaties when it was a question of shooting the poor Duc d'Enghien. All right, this is getting into some history stuff, which I am, we've established. I'm not the person to talk to about this, but there's a lot of historical context here. Actually, we haven't talked at all about the abridged versus the unabridged versions of the Count of Monte Cristo. Clearly, this is a long-ass book, and in many, many versions of it, you'll find that it is abridged, which means that those editors and translators have taken out huge swaths of the story in order to make it a little more trim, a little more readable for general audiences. And I'm wondering if a scene like this is taken out because it has so much historical context that you kind of need to know if you're really going to dive in. Basically, this is, without getting too deep into the weeds here, just talking about the danger of having Napoleon at Elba and how he still has followers within proximity, that he can still be a danger and a threat to the monarch should he be able to escape and reconnect with his partisans. And that they're talking that, like, oh yeah, it's probably a good idea to send him even further away. Let's get him the fuck out of here. And, the Marquis here is even, like, floating by the, like, idea of, oh yeah, well, we didn't think too much about those contracts, those treaties, when we shot that other guy. So, why are we according to these 1814 treaties at all? And it does make me wonder. I'm not going to go too deep into the world right now, but what do you do with someone who ignores the law? Let's just say it. And the people that need to hold them accountable, playing by the system, the very system that person doesn't abide by. I don't know. It's ay. Let me get back on track and away from that nonsense. I have come to really see Napoleon as a complicated figure in history. I'm sure we'll get more into it, but he brought a lot of good things, and I'm wondering if it was just like a guy that chose a side and it happened to be the side of the people, but in reality he was using it to gain power. I don't know. I still don't know where I fall on Napoleon. I'm enjoying reading about him, and in fact, there's a historian who has a great courses on the French Revolution, Professor Dassin, who is from the University of Wisconsin. I highly recommend going to seek out her course or some of her work and books. She's written so many books about it. Very, very good at putting readers and listeners into the experience of the everyday people going through the French Revolution. which is kind of, what I'm trying to do here to some degree, is like understand it for myself. What does this really mean? How can I relay it to my own personal experiences? Anyway, let's keep going with chapter 6 of the Count de Monte Cristo tomorrow. You know where I'll be, right here. I hope to see you then. Okay, bye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count de Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.